What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So, listen, a lot of conversation that people are having is about Gervonta Tank Davis versus Inoue. And the other conversation that they're not really talking too much about in detail, but the fact that the fight's not happening, is with Tank Davis and Connor Benn. Now, let me explain something I want to bring to people's attention that they're just not looking at. All right, so let's go to work. One, Inoue just made a statement saying that he's not interested in fighting Tank Davis. He said that he wants to give the best Inoue every time he goes out and fight. He's seen a lot of fighters go up and wait, and they don't perform so well, and they wind up quitting. There's weight classes for a reason. And I agree with him. Some people can be exception to the rule. Some people can be exception to the rule against certain fighters. So when you look at his statement, first off, that's not a duck. That situation is this. These guys are not even in the same weight class. This is something that people started saying this is a fight they wanted to see. And because of Gervonta Tank Davis's antics, people are jumping conclusions, like I said in the last video, and talking like he's no match for Inoue. And it's like, listen, Inoue is a solid fighter. He's an exciting fighter, and he's skilled, but you guys are smoking crack. If you really think Inoue is going to go up and beat Tank Davis, stop it, y'all. And Tank is no goddamn pushover. Tank is equally as skilled. He's not. Look, Tank Davis antics, put that aside. What he does in that ring, Inoue's not beating him. Inoue doesn't have to go run up and go and fight Tank Davis or anybody at 135. Now, that's his choice. Now, if Inoue chose to go to 135 and fight someone else, and it was a thing of, let me see what it's like to fight at 135, it's still not the same as fighting Tank Davis. Okay, unless there was somebody that's like Tank's equal that he can go and fight that's just as good as Tank. Otherwise, I mean, it's not Tank. But if he was to do that, then depending on how he does would determine if he stayed at 135 or decided to fight Tank. That could be one thing, a fight just to test the waters. Which, if he did that, that's what he should say. Otherwise, if you go up to 135 and you fight somebody else and then you don't fight Tank, then it's like, well, why'd you go to 135? Okay, no difference from, well, it's kind of different, but the same thing in terms of, we're looking at Tank Davis going to 140 to fight Mario Barrios, but not going to 140 to fight Devin Haney. Tank is trying to grab as much money as he possibly can, and he's trying to be the A side to the point where either I get my way 100% or there's no fight. And that's what he's doing. And if you look at that, it's like, look, Inoue is not a big star in America, but there's respect on his name. People know that he can fight. And, he doesn't have to go to 135. What happens is this. When you're in a division where the fighters that you're fighting is not well known, now it comes down to ego / legacy. Because it's more of fighters worried about what are people going to say if you retire and you don't fight this guy or that guy. Well, now you have to go up because there's nobody left. No, you don't have to do anything. Marvin Hagler never went up. He fought only at middleweight. And he was never criticized. That the very best fighters that he fought, the guys that stood out more than anybody else that he fought, Vito Adafirmo all included, with Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, and Thomas Hearns, who are all guys that came up. Duran was fighting at a lightweight before he came to welterweight, and Leonard and Hearns, same thing. These are guys that came up in weight to fight him. He never got criticized that the very best guys on his resume weren't natural middleweights. So, no, you don't have to go up. It's if you choose to. Okay, when your body starts to outgrow a weight class, that's another reason. Because if you have to drain yourself to make that weight class, then it's like, okay, it's time to go up. You ask most people, they'll say Lomachenko's best weight was 126. Well, it's obvious that his body outgrown the 126 division. So we can't go by, well, if he would have fought this person at 126, if they look, that's not what it's about. So you're going up in weight for two different reasons. For him to go up in weight would just simply be to appease people by saying, okay, let me test myself against Tank. That is not an easy test at all. No way, shape, or form. You know, and what people fail to realize is, like, when you go up in weight, the difference when you go up in weight, even when you're a solid puncher, especially for the smaller guys, as you go up, in terms of your power carrying over, because these guys are small naturally, you still can crack guys and maybe get some knockouts, and you know, there's, you know, things that you can do, and you do have people that just have that natural power, but it's punch placement, it's skill, it's time, and it's technique, it's all that. It's not just punching power. Okay, we've seen a lot of guys that can crack and they can't get the knockout. If they don't, they get knocked out. You know, so Inoue, this is no duck. Okay, Inoue has nothing to prove, just like Tank wouldn't have anything to prove by going down in weight. Like, like guys are coming up in weight to try to find better competition. So what is he going down for? To prove what? You understand what I mean? That would be something that if he chose to do. But it's because of the antics of Tank Davis. Now, Connor Benn, on the other hand. Connor Benn is another guy who's not known in the States, but he hasn't accomplished what Inoue has accomplished. Okay, now his name may resonate more over in the UK. Over here in the States, nah. And you know damn well Tank Davis is not going to play by his rules. So if they were to fight, Tank is not going to go to the UK to fight him. And pretty much whatever Hearn offered, whatever they offered Tank Davis, you heard Leonard Ellaby, Tank Davis called the shots. Tank is the only one that make offers. Nobody's making offers to Tank. Meaning, even if they make the offer, Tank's going to turn that shit down. He turned down $20 million from the Haney's. All right? I don't know what Hearn offered him. I don't know what the offer was. Okay? Was it $20 million? I don't know. I doubt very seriously that it was more. All right? He turned the Saudis down. So it's clear that Tank Davis is not interested in doing anything unless he wants to. And when he wants to. What he did, again, with his antics, he talked shit to Devin Haney on X. But then he ends up, remember, saying out of his mouth, in that car, we already talked about going to 140, bro. Then he turns around and says, him and Connor Benn, all these guys, all parties involved, are all on the same page, as if the fight was a go. Everybody had that impression because of what he texted or tweeted or whatever you want to say. Okay, and when he's talking about going to 140, it's like, okay, we know that Connor Benn is at 154. So if he was to go to 140, for him to go to 147 to fight Connor, it wouldn't have been at one. It would have been a catch weight, because Connor's fighting at 154. So they would have wound up not fighting at 147. It would have, been a catch weight, probably 144, 145, something like that. But the bottom line is, why do you even need a Connor Benn fight to prove what? This is the same shit that Baumgartner is trying to do with Shields. Only not a catch weight, just a weight class where there's no belts on the line. What is this about? Bragging rights. Because in terms of legacy, it's like, what did Shields gain? Because even further go down, yeah, but she was too big. It's going to be every excuse in the book. Same thing Canelo says about fighting Crawford. But this is the reality. When you go up and down in weight, it needs to be a purpose, a reason. Not just you're desperate, you're trying to get attention to yourself because you know the person you're calling out has no reason to even respond to your demands of a weight class that they haven't fought in years or never fought at. So, yeah, you can't call what Inoue is saying take that as a duck. Why Tank Davis is playing these games and he's being silent about everything, in terms of business and detailing why, what happened, why, what didn't go right, why did he turn the fight down. But he was the one tweeted that shit, talking about everything, they all on the same page, and basically it's like, okay, well, even the fight that Connor Benn, or anyone else for that matter, at a catch weight that's going to come to more than 140 pounds. Well, my thing with that is, well, why can't you fight Devin at 140, right? And this is exactly all Teofimo. You're already at 135. Now, does he fight the winner of Kambosos and Lomachenko? Does he do anything that people want to see? Riley stole the Pitbull fight, and we know that that's the fight that they were trying to secure. We already saw that song and dance, so we don't care to see that again. So that's what that is. As far as with Inoue, no, there's no ducking, man. The guy is speaking with logical sense. You know, there's no sense to go up, get your ass whooped, then say, oh, well, I dared to be great, I tried. The history books don't give a fuck about what your intentions were. All they know, all the history books is going to tell you is who won, who lost, and how, what the decision was, and that's it. So that's not something that I don't even see why people are making such a big deal out of it. It's not about taking sides, okay? It's not about, you know, your personal feelings. It's about the reality of what is. You know, I don't care who you like or don't like. Tank is doing some bullshit, but Tank is a threat in that ring to any of these guys. Let's not play those games. Inoue is a threat, but going up to fight Tank, that's just not wise. It's just not a wise thing. And we're not talking about Tank being a guy who's not even if Tank was a guy that can punch, but you know, wasn't like didn't have like really solid power at 135. Let's just say he had respectable power. If he wasn't the puncher he is, he still can fight overall. So either way, you can't count Tank out. But because he has that power to go with those skills, for you to think that Haney couldn't beat Tank or Shakur couldn't beat Tank, somehow y'all think little Inoue can beat Tank, that is just completely like as backwardsly stupid. Let's not go trying to put an S on someone's chest like they're anything but human. You know, you never know what could happen in the fight, but looking at consistency and going by what I see, both of these guys at their best. Come on, stop it. Stop it. It's not even necessary. So no, that's not a duck from Inoue. That's people hyping that up. Inoue never said he wanted to fight Tank. This was the people saying that. So this is what I'm saying. Tank is the one opening his mouth saying about who he wants to fight. And then all of a sudden there's no fight. He's playing games. You know, and I'm hearing rumors about Tank is not in fight shape and all that. Okay, whatever it may be, then stop talking then. But they're going to talk to keep their name out there, to try to stay relevant. And as far as Connor Benn goes, that fight just didn't make any sense to me at all. Can anybody tell me what's the purpose? What's on the line? Nothing. No belt. And you're just going to fight just to fight. For what? Like, and this is why I said, for him to pick Connor, it's a reason why. But then, in that same breath, it turns out that what? One of the family even said it. You know, and I'm like, yeah, that is probably Tank just running his mouth. My thing is the same question I asked before. Everybody's talking about, you know, and like Leonard Ellerby's talking about Tank Davis. He's the one that make the offers. He's the one that make the decisions. He's the one that says yes or no. He's the one that called the shots. So why is Tank calling no shots other than no fight? Because that's pretty much what's been going on. You know, and in closing, let me just say this. Because I did two videos. One, the video I did about America needs to start making stars. Check that video out if you didn't. Yeah, look, bottom line, I don't care who you cheer for. Just because you come from America doesn't mean you're gonna look at that like you're gonna automatically be a good fight. Think that fight. Everybody's not gonna like. They're not gonna like the same fight. Let's put it like that. But what I'm saying is, they need to put that same effort and time into trying to develop stars here in America. They keep talking about how boxing is this and boxing is that. Boxing is global, but in America, it's not what it was. And there's no way that you should have Jermaine Franklin, if you take right now, along with Deontay Wilder, next to him, and he's on his way out. Okay, he's about to be 39 in October. So you look at Wilder and look at where he is. He's not going to get any better. Michael Hunter, you know, he's pretty much in the same situation in terms of, I mean, what is he going to do differently? He's there, but he's knowing nothing. So why you have a guy like Jared Anderson, you have a Jermaine Franklin, and you're doing nothing to try to showcase these guys. And the fact that they have to go to the UK or they have to go to Saudi or try to go to, stuff like that, it's like the greed, the corruption, you think, it's too much. And you think that somebody will look at what the Saudis are doing and go, damn, you know something? We need to do what they're doing, and we need to wake up and change things around and clean the sport up and put some order here, right? Just imagine how many fighters already went to the UK to fight, and they're from America. Now, if they had to go to the UK to make this happen, don't that tell you something? When America is so much bigger than the UK, but boxing is not as big in America as it is in the UK, it's casuals over here who really don't care about boxing as a sport, but they want to be fans of people. So it's all about who's the hot chicken, who's the popular guy, that type of situation. Yeah, and I explain all that in that video. Other thing I just want to address real quick, because I don't want to make another video about this, because I just did. I made the video about Cyborg and Baumgartner, calling out or talking shit about Shields. Look, let's make this perfectly clear. Once again, if you're going to call somebody out, be prepared to go to their weight class. If not, then stop all the cap, because that's all that is. Now, as far as people thinking that Cyborg or Baumgartner is better than anybody on Shields' resume, okay, that's your take, that's your opinion. I beg to differ. So even when we say skill for skill, that doesn't mean shit. And I'm going to explain why it doesn't mean shit. One, we're talking skill for skill. 2 different weight classes. So that's like saying Terrence Crawford is considered pound for pound the best fighter. You think Terrence Crawford could go and beat Anthony Joshua in a fight? Or you think he could go beat Tyson Fury in a fight? So even if pound for pound, you have him as the number 1, okay, that's fine. But he's not going to go in the ring and beat those 2 motherfuckers. There's a lot of people he wouldn't beat. There's cruiserweights, light heavyweights, super middleweights that he wouldn't beat. Bottom line, it's different when you're going up in weight. Now, if skill for skill, Baumgartner or Cyborg was better than anybody on Shields' record, right? They should have no problem going to 160, right? Because skills pay the bills. They should have no problem going to 154. Shields already made it clear. The fight can happen. We can make it happen, but at 154. It's as simple as that. Now, in my opinion, I wouldn't put Baumgartner over Hannah Gabriels. I don't believe she beats Hannah Gabriels. A prime Hannah Gabriels was too active. She had the kind of style that's going to test Baumgartner's endurance, her stamina. And that's where one area that Baumgartner, you can see when she lets her hands go, she completely empties her tank. Okay, not to mention, Gabriels are sharp. She was sharp. Now, I like Baumgartner as a fighter. I like Gabriels as a fighter. I don't put her as a clear win over Hannah Gabriels. I truly believe pound for pound, if they fought each other at best, I don't really see Hannah Gabriels losing. Because you got to understand something about Baumgartner. She's one punch at a time, and when she does let her hands go, like I said, she jumps in and she never gets the stoppage. And then she gets tired. Hannah Gabriels can do that shit all night long. Just like Amanda Serrano. They can punch all night long. Baumgartner can't. Okay. Then you got to understand, Baumgartner's never fought at those weight classes. So it's different when you put the weight on and now you fighting people that they're stronger than the people you're used to getting hit by. Your punches don't affect them like they did the smaller people. So when we talk about pound for pound, skill for skill, that really don't mean jack shit when you lack too much. You lack the things that you need to move up in weight and win. That being said, skill for skill, okay. Do you think that Cyborg, first off, and let me clear this up, Cyborg is not better than any top-level fighter. In no fucking weight. She's not better than any of them. I've seen Cyborg box. She's decent. She's mediocre, man. She has power, but she has no real technique. I don't care what she did in MMA. I've seen her do both. She's not better than anybody on any. She's not better than any top fighter on Shield's resume. As far as Baumgartner goes, and Cyborg, neither one of them would beat Franchon Cruz. Neither one of them would beat Savannah Marshall. Neither one of them would beat Hannah Gabriels, in my opinion. So, and I'm pretty sure if I dig, there'll be a couple of more people who. So you got to understand, when you're saying pound for pound, skill for skill, okay, skill for skill. That means she should, like I said, she should be able to go up and handle these girls. And you got to remember, Shields went all up to 168. So there's nothing that little fucking Alicia Baumgartner is going to do that's going to be different. She's going to get fucked up. Chris Cyborg, who walks around over 180 pounds. Okay, 187 pounds, they said. For her, she'd get destroyed if she fought Franchon. She'd get destroyed if she fought Savannah Marshall. She'd get annihilated and destroyed if she fought Shields. So at the end of the day, the reason she wants to fight Shields at 147, you hear her saying, no, I don't have the experience. Okay, so what does that mean? I'm trying to get you down to drain you as much as I can to give myself a better chance of beating you. Otherwise, why? What's the hold up with going to 154? And you walk around damn near 190. Okay, they said she walks around between 185 and 187. That's a big fucking woman. Okay? And Savannah Marshall walks around heavier than that. So, do you understand? The point is, skill for skill means nothing when you get in the ring and your skills are not enough. Because you lack the physical size and your power is not the same with these bigger girls as it is with these smaller ones, which is going to be the excuse that they both would have if they was to fight anybody. Notice, and notice something, okay? When you call somebody out and then say, we're going to fight at 147, knowing damn well that person's not going to 147, you don't really want that smoke. When you call somebody out and then you say, I don't have the experience, that's why they're trying to get you to 147. They're clearly letting you know so I can drain you, right? Like I said, to give myself the best chance. Well, for Shields, for example, that who doesn't need either one of them, okay, you got to remember, between 130 and 147, okay, Cyborg is not going to go to 135 and 130. She couldn't make that. Her big dance was supposed to be against Ronda Rousey, and that shit didn't happen. Her big dance passed her by as far as that goes. So with what she's done, and as far as boxing goes, same thing. She's not going past 147. She's not going down, below it. So for her to call out anybody, Terry Harper or whoever, anybody that's at 147 that she could fight, okay, she should be trying to make a fight with them. The problem is female boxing just isn't deep like that. So therefore, when these women call each other out and they're going up and down in weight, the fact that the fights happen because they want that money, they want the championships, they want the prestige, and they want to fight the best fighters. That's why they're doing that. So if any one of these fighters are calling someone's name but scared to go to that weight class to fight them, we're going to say the same exact things. So, it's different. Like I said, look at Adrian Broner. Everybody was saying he's going to be the next Floyd Mayweather. And they talked all of this shit about what Adrian Broner was going to do. He lacked discipline. And he lacked the heart that he needed to fight these guys and actually fight and win instead of trying to just fight to survive. Look at when he went up in weight. And what did he have the nerve to say after he lost to Sean Porter? Man, I'm not going to keep going and fighting these big guys. Who the hell made you go up? That was your choice to go up in weight. Now, here comes Floyd coming from Floyd fought at 126, came all the way up to wound up all going up to 154. So you mean to tell me that here goes Adrian Broner, he came up in weight too, but the same thing is he couldn't handle these bigger guys. So we talk about skills. That's my point. Floyd had the skill to fuck with any of them. So from 140, from his original weight class to 154, he can hold his own with any of these guys. You understand what I mean? The guy is ultra skilled. Adrian Broner is not ultra skilled. He copies Floyd Mayweather. He is a good fighter. He was a good fighter. And basically he showed you that when it came down to it, he couldn't handle the pressure. He don't like the pressure fighters. He couldn't even beat Mikey Garcia. He got washed by Mikey Garcia. Like Mikey's a good fighter, but let's be real, man. There's people that will fuck Mikey up. Errol Spence was one of them. You understand what I'm saying to you? So when you look at the skill level, and this is what I'm saying, the activity, like look at Pacquiao, for example. Pacquiao is like a little buzzsaw. Keep coming, keep moving, keep coming, keep moving. And he never seems to slow the pace down. He just keeps going, and he holds his power all the way to the last round. Okay? It was ineffective against Mayweather in terms of him being able to do anything other than just stand there and fight but lose damn near every round. Okay? You watch what I'm saying and you compare his activity, his angles, his awkwardness, all of that, his smarts, his sharpness, his hand speed, his power, his foot speed, his footwork. He was different. Baumgartner is just a good fighter. Nothing special. You understand what I'm saying? She is not nearly as good as Clarissa Shields. So it makes no difference. She's gonna go up, if she has the heart to go to 154, she's gonna get fucked up. I don't care about the excuses afterwards. You got a big mouth, then had a big heart, and go back it up. Plain and simple. Cyborg, 38, 39 years old. Cyborg is just trying to get a big payday. Okay, nobody talks about her as a fighter. At no point are you talking about Chris Cyborg's boxing career. So all of this talking and trying to get attention to themselves, that's what they're trying to do. Chris Cyborg, who's much bigger than Alicia Baumgartner, that's why Clarissa told her, like she has no excuse to not go to 154 or 160. But when Clarissa told her pick on somebody your own size, yeah, you guys want to come into boxing and try to call out names of fighters that you haven't earned anything with. And I guess they figure, well, shit, if Francis Ngannou can get handpicked, hey, maybe they'll do the same thing for me. And that's all you really saw. What the fuck has Chris Cyborg done to warrant a fight with Katie Taylor or Terry Harper or any Amanda Serrano, any top level female? And damn sure she's not qualified for what? What did she do to fight Clarissa Shields? So if she want her ass whooped, like Shields put it, both of them get their ass whooped. Come to 154. It's as simple as that. So she's willing to go down from 160. And she's fought, in fairness, at 154. She's fought all the way up to 168. So what in the hell does she have to gain by going down? And meeting their demands for what? Well, at the end of the day, y'all, this is what I'm saying about boxing not being structured and people all over the place with these fantasy fights and the way they vision these things. I'm telling you, and I'm calling it before it happens. So if it happens, I'm telling you right now, Shields will fuck Cyborg up badly. Shields will fuck up Alicia Baumgartner badly. She is all wrong for both of them. Too skilled for them. And the one thing that, like I said, she's going to push you and make you fight more than what you want to. And you see, for Baumgartner, any smart fighter can see that. Any trainer, any managers, any trainers, they watch, they can see this. Like, yeah, you push her and make her fight more than she wants. She's going to gas out. Her ego's going to kick in because she don't want to talk all this shit and then lose to Clarissa Shields. But what does she have to fall back on other than just she throws a hard single punch? You understand what I'm saying? Because bottom line, like I said, when she let her hands go, that's when she don't really get the knockout. Okay? And her stamina. And just bottom line, she's not as skilled. She's not the sharp thinker that Shields is. She's not overall as skilled as Shields. So skill for skill, I don't give a fuck about the rest of her resume. Which bottom line is, and like I said, I just named, the three fighters that would fuck both of them up. Okay, and so even though Shields is not physically as big as Marshall, she's not physically as big as Franchon, And even fucking Hannah Gabriel's went all up to heavyweights in women's boxing. So I'm saying those women would fuck both of those women up, man. It's nothing that these girls bring to the table that Shields won't be able to handle. So, bottom line, guys, is like, what would be funny if Shields was to say, okay, I'll tell you what, why don't both of y'all fight each other at 147? How about that? Since y'all big stars, you don't want to come to 154, you don't want to come to 160. How about y'all fight each other at 147? How about that? People can't say that anybody's like, look, what would Shields have to duck any one of them for? You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. I already know the excuse about the weight. I already know what's going to be said. If either one of them was to come up, then they're going to be, Cyborg excuses are going to be, she don't have the experience that Shields has, and she just wanted to challenge the best and dare to be great, blah, blah, blah. And she wanted the fight to be at 147 because, all the bottom line, like I said, I already told you why she's saying 147. But bottom line, excuses. Baumgartner definitely doesn't want to just admit Shields is just the better fighter. She's already telling everybody she's better than Shields. She's more skilled. Okay, you may think that, and it might appear that way because she does these little slick movements and all, and throw one punch at a time, and her style is just no. This is why they don't want to go fight Shields at 154. You understand what I'm saying? You see what Bivol said? I have nothing to prove at 175. I already beat Canelo at 175. But he and everybody say he's unbeatable at 168. So I want to beat him at 168. And Mauricio goes, no, we got to protect our golden goose. No, not happening. Excuses. Now, that being said, y'all, all of this circus shit, okay, even though they're all boxers, and Cyborg is a boxer now, but this is circus shit for the simple fact that there's so much work to be done, but people just feel entitled to just jump up and, I think I'm a bigger star than what I am. Okay, so we're going to fight at this weight class. Whoa, slow it down. Who the fuck are you to tell us what weight class we're going to fight at? This is what's happening right now. And you know what? The same way how Terrence Crawford, wants to fight Canelo, and like I said, it's been a while since he's done anything. He is trying to have that one big fight, because if he can have one fight, make the kind of money he want, and then go versus having 2 or 3 more, that's what he's trying to do. That's why he doesn't want to fight Jaron Ennis or certain guys, because he feels like that money's not going to be what he wants. Why do you think he's trying to target who? Canelo. Well, who else are you going to fight that's going to get you that kind of money? You see what I mean? So if it's just about cashing out, which is what I strongly believe it is with Crawford, because otherwise he'd have been fought by now, because Spence already made it clear. When there's nothing going on over there. You see how people make up things. Like when you saw the video of Errol Spence jumping rope and he was singing, change will come and all that. Okay, what did people title their videos? Errol Spence in training for Terrence Crawford. Says who? Who the fuck says he's training for Crawford? Why couldn't he just be jumping rope to try to cut weight down and just, getting some work in? Who says he's training for Crawford? And we keep hearing all these, 1 minute the fight's on, next week the fight's off, same week the fight's on, next day the fight's off. So all of this back and forth. Boxing is so messy, and people don't know how to clean this mess up. So all this jumping back and forth in weight classes for no reason just makes no sense. So I'm not a fan of it. It has to be necessary to me. And I don't see the point in that. You're just going to go up and down in weight. Look at this kid, Ben Whitaker, right? He's 6'3", fighting at 175 pounds. Now, does his career end as a cruiserweight? Does he wind up going up to what they call bridgerweight or heavyweight? Who knows? He's tall. There's guys in this era that's much taller than 6'3", that's taller than 6'3" and all whatever, but he's tall, for him to go up to, cruiser or heavyweight, his power's not going to be the same. It's not going to have the same effect on these bigger guys. He can box. The showboating, he might want to cut back on with the bigger guys just for the simple fact that this is power unlike what you're going to find at 175. And when you showboat and get clipped by one of these bigger dudes, it's going to be a different result. So, just saying that, there's no reason for him to try to run up to cruiserweight and then run up for what? Now, with Turviev is pretty much 38, 39, so, his clock is ticking. You got Beevil there. And, now looking at Ben Whitaker, it's like, hey, man, at some point, let's look at it like this. At some point, David Morrell and Benavidez are going to have to fight each other. Canelo don't want to fight either one of them. Benavidez or Morrell also as well might end up going to 175 before it's all said and done. Now imagine if you had, Morrell and Benavidez there at 175 along with Beeble. Don't know how long Turviev is going to be around, but just saying, because I don't see that if they was to go to 175, I don't know how long that's going to take and who said they're going to do it at all or at around the same time. But just saying, imagine if you had that, right? Because that's the one thing about these bigger weight. Like, you go from like bantamweight, you go like at the flyweight, strawweights, all these little guys. In professional boxing, man, for the really for the men, especially, 126, 130 pounds don't really get too much recognition. It's like a big fish in a small pond type of situation. 135 has been alive for a while. So really, from 135 up to heavyweight. But light heavyweight, cruiserweight, and then there's now bridgerweight. Like, they don't get too much recognition. Light heavyweight gets more recognition than cruiserweight and this bridgerweight shit. But the cruiserweights have, it's just so sad that you have one or two guys in a division, or three, but the division itself doesn't get any real recognition. So, with that, certain people go up, like I said, because they don't have a certain level of competition to get that recognition. But if you're a champion, you're defending your belts. That's what it really comes down to. And if you go to a weight class that you're uncomfortable with and you can't perform the same, then what's the purpose? It's one thing to dare to be great, and it's another thing to just be foolish and put a dent in your own career. For who? Who are you doing this for? These same fans that cheer and boo you and is going to forget about you, and cheer and boo somebody new, and you're old news and no more relevant at some point? That's just the way it goes. Now, I said all I needed to say about the Shield situation, about the video I made with America just not producing stars anymore, and the fact that instead of taking these guys and showcasing them and putting them in the right positions, you just, it's like wherever the money is, that's where we're going. And that's just that is like the business model for boxing right now. Wherever the money is, whoever can, nobody really cares about stabilizing boxing. And like I said, that doesn't mean boo everybody or somebody because they from a different country. No, I'm not saying that at all. You like who you like, but what I'm saying is, no, you need to stop putting your own Americans down to like where you're sitting up here just like you're notice how people are accepting of this whole mindset of, well, who's going to put the money up? Like, what do you mean? So you don't think that if you had, say, Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz, you had Jared Anderson, well, let's just say Michael Hunter. You mean to tell me you can't put on Devin Haney versus Tank in the States? You understand what I'm saying? You can't put these fights on? It's like I said, like even like Tommy Morrison's son, he's not that good of a fighter, but the guy has, at least like with his dad, the recognition that his father had. When you look at him, he was at a desperate point where he was ready to fight Jake Paul. Right? But then you got to look at it. Look at what the Misfits have done. This is exactly my point. Look at what the fuck they have done. And you mean to tell me all these business boxing minds out there in America and nobody can't even take a page from their book? Only we got real boxers instead of guys that's fucking content creators that never boxed, don't know how to box, have podcasts or some kind of TikTok popular from Instagram or some shit and end up in a boxing ring. And look at the foundation that they built. And that shit comes on the zone. So don't tell me this shit can't be fucking done. And you gotta remember, all these guys are not superstars. You should be trying to put the best cards on that you possibly can. And until boxing gets structured to it, fighters are gonna keep demanding way more money, being greedy, and basically like holding you hostage for, well, give me what I want or there's no fight. All right, fuck it, I'll give in type of thing. Nah, man. Nah. You can put these cards together. This guy, Carmel Moulton, is a solid guy. He reminds me a lot of Tank Davis. He even look like him. They look like brothers and shit. And I'm looking at where he is right now, and it's like, you see, you have guys sprinkled around, and they're good fighters. But what ends up happening? They wind up going to different promotions. They move up and down in weight or something. Fights that you want to see happen, it's not going to happen, and nobody seems to have the cure for it over here. So Turkey Al-Sheikh comes along and goes, hey, I got a plan and an idea. I have a vision for boxing. That's all I'm saying. Check out that video. I detail all that shit anyway. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.